Hey, new video. So today, I want to talk about why it's difficult to get people to change their minds. And if you want someone to change their mind, you have to look at what it will take for them to give up in order to change their mind. And that's because people attach their ego and their identity to their beliefs, right? And that makes it hard for people to change their minds because changing their mind means that they also have to change a fundamental part of who they are. They have to change their identity in order to change their mind. And that's very difficult for people to do because changing a fundamental part of yourself is hard. And people would rather just double down on their pre-existing beliefs than they would change their mind because that would hurt their ego. And that is the danger of having a big ego, is that it makes you incapable of changing your mind, even if you're in a situation where you should change your mind because your ego gets in the way. People's beliefs oftentimes are controlled by their ego/identity, and that's a problem because people tend to seek out beliefs that make them feel good, that affirm what they already believe, that make their ego feel good, right? And that's the danger of it. That's why you shouldn't attach your ego or identity to your beliefs. And that's something that I try to do. I don't try to identify with whatever beliefs that I have. I don't want my ego to be part of my belief system because then if it is, it's hard for me to change my mind. But because it's not, it's more easy for me to change my mind because my ego and my identity don't have to change in the process. It's really no big deal. Like if I'm wrong, okay, yeah, I'll admit it. I'll just admit that I'm wrong and I'll change my mind. That's really all it takes, you know? It really isn't a big deal to change your mind if you're wrong, if you don't tie your identity to your belief system. But unfortunately, so many people do, and that really is why it's so hard for people. And so, okay, now let's talk about, now that we know why it's hard for people to change their mind, let's think about how we can get people to change their mind. And ultimately, like when you're talking to someone and you want them to change, you just have to be calm and empathetic with them. Like that really is the main thing. You have to not allow them to feel like they're being attacked, and you have to just be kind to them and have probably a long conversation with them in order for it to work because they're not going to change their mind quickly. It probably will take some time. And I also recommend using the Socratic method, which some examples of this are asking people where they got their information from. Like how did you come to believe what you believe? And then ask them if they think that the source of information that they got their info from, ask them if they think that's a good source of information or not. And so you kind of see where I'm going here. You ask them very targeted questions to get them to undermine their own belief system. Essentially what you're doing is that you're planting a seed of doubt in their head that will eventually sprout and hopefully get them to change their mind. But the thing is that you're not going to necessarily change their mind yourself. I mean, maybe, but a lot of the time you just have to ask them the right questions and to get them thinking. So to plant those seeds to get them to question their own beliefs, to get them to gradually change their mind. And that's kind of how you do it. You got to be kind and empathetic and nice, and ultimately just get them to question their own beliefs by asking certain questions. And I admit this is very hard. And honestly, I'm not even good at it myself. You know, I'm kind of a logic lord. You know, like I like a good debate, but like a fiery debate is not really how you change people's minds. That's more for like the audience. But to get people to change their mind, yeah, like I said, calm, empathetic, long conversations, and it's hard. But I think if you really care about someone, like a friend or a family member, and you want to get them to change, that kind of is what it takes. It's not easy, but that really is it. So yeah, that's what I think. That's why it's hard to get people to change their mind, and that's also the best way to get people to change their mind. So hey, let me know what you think. It really does come down to ego.